Hi there. How you doing, buddy?
I'm going to tell you short. It was 19.
Not what me and Browning lost.
Yes, yes.
They told me you dressed out. Right. How you doing, man? You look great. I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there.
Last year, we were in New Orleans and you won a Leigh Steinberg Humanitarian Award. A lot of people don't, maybe less than 20 people know this, but you were alone with Ray Lewis and Leigh. There's a handful of people. And it seems like you guys were kind of encouraging each other. What was that moment like when you talked to Ray last year in New Orleans?
Yeah, he was obviously. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 3 years ago, and he was just being very supportive. Uh, you know, I don't know if the listeners watched any of the Indiana or Miami game or any of the Miami playoff games. Well, if you did, you saw Ray and Michael Irvin on the sideline, and they're sweating bullets. I mean, they're playing the game. I mean, they're passionate, high energy guys, and that's Ray. That I've always had a lot of respect for Ray. He was being very supportive, as he always is. So that's what that moment was about.
And one of those things, you came out on TMZ in our last episode. You talked about Parkinson's and your condition is rapidly advancing more than you'd like. But there's some days you do really well. Like you look like Brett Favre of 8 years ago when I met you, or 9 years ago. I don't even remember how many years now. So there's some good days. And can you feel that in your mind when you're having a good day?
Without a doubt. I don't know if that's good or bad, but evenings in general seem to be much worse. I say much worse compared to how I am right now. So the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I take my Parkinson's medication, carbidopa, levodopa. It's a dopamine replacement. Prior to, again, within 2 minutes of waking up, it's the first thing I do. And that 2 minutes, from the time I wake up to the time I take that medication, I don't know what a 2x4 feels like, but I think I feel as close to a 2x. I mean, I am super rigid, super stiff. I was never real flexible, but I'm very not flexible. Pardon my lack of English, but I take the medication and it's like within 20 minutes, I feel completely free, if that makes sense. But the evenings, like my speech, I struggle with my speech. I slur a little bit. The rigidity and stiffness sets back in. And this is even with the medication. So that's sort of a typical day. But there are days where mornings, even with the medication, I still struggle a little bit. And that's what you're referring to. You'll see me and like, man, you look like you've whipped it. And then the next day, totally different. And, I don't know if I assume that's sort of normal for this disease. There's good days and bad days, like anything. But, one of you talk about exercise. One of the things that every Parkinson's specialist that I have talked to has said, exercise, exercise, exercise. Because it's a disease that attacks your mobility and your flexibility, your rigidity and stiffness or lack thereof. And so and I hate to say throw in the towel and just give up, but some people do that. Your body is almost entombed. So I'm constantly trying to fight the rigidity and stiffness and mobility. Like balance is usually pretty gravely affected, especially as you get older. So I try to do a lot of stuff to counter that, but I'm not giving up in spite of what those bogus media outlets or whatever were saying. This look forward to it. Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.